It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across the USA, we are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Hi, good morning. All right, so we're talking about the Democrats and how they're pondering how to do things differently.
Yeah.
That we can't play Trump's game. You know, we can't play the politics of fear. You know, all these types of generalities. We just, read you some of the comments from Buttigieg that we've got to do some things differently. Now, they can't give you specifics. Now, we all know, and Democrats, we try to give you advice, and the advice is correct. Your numbers are down because you suck on the issues. Mm-hmm. And if you try to change and go 180 degrees, nobody's going to believe you. And if you try to split the baby on all the issues, you can't get into any specifics, as we've seen. But I'm going to play for you here. This is just a couple of days ago, last Friday in Austin, Texas. Beto O'Rourke. Because, right, they've got to change, right?
Yeah.
They've got to change. Mm-hmm. They're comparing Trump to Hitler, doing all this stuff. It's not working. The people don't buy it. We've got to change and do something else. So let's see what Skater Boy had to say from Austin, Texas last week. Here we go.
From the moment that he was appointed chancellor in January of 1933, it took Adolf Hitler only 53 days to destroy German democracy. And at every turn in those 53 days, every time he defied the German Constitution, every time he exceeded his lawful authority, every single time he tried to run past the rule of law, the German press, the German politicians, and most importantly, the German public did far too little, far too late. In 53 days, he went from a buffoonish thug who could barely hold power to the undisputed master and dictator of the German people. In the 6 months since Donald Trump...
We're done. We don't need to go any further, do we? There it is.
It's good. But it's a good thing they're not using fear.
Yeah, we cannot promote the politics of fear. Trump is Hitler. Beto, have you been paying attention? Could you seriously interview him in a studio and not sit there and start out by saying, look, you're an idiot?
Or my first question would be, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, seriously, what's wrong with you, dude?
What is wrong with you?
And I'd use words like dude and stuff,
Right, to fit in, so he would understand.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm cool. I can say dude. And,
make it hip.
And, one time I thought about driving across America, not skateboarding.
Right.
But, I mean, it's like, what an idiot. What an idiot. They don't learn, and they sit there. Well, we need to controlate, and we're going to need to, move to the middle, and we cannot be sitting there calling Trump Hitler. Nobody buys that Trump is Hitler, so stop it. They just can't stop it.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to, is that they need to build the fear. It's the only thing they think that works for them.
Right. They've got nothing else except now somebody did point out to me, a listener the other day, I think it was on X or maybe it was an email, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we had always said, I got to find it because it was great. Just popped into my mind now. This is what happens when you're online 24/7.
Well,
you scan so many things. But it was somebody who pointed out to me where some politician referred to Trump not as Hitler, but he's worse than Hitler. he's Satan. And you and I have always said somebody has to compare him to the ultimate evil. Someday they're going to have to compare him to Satan.
Yeah,
and so they have.
You got to go
right
full on, and that's what they've done now. So yeah.
So somebody did this. Somebody pointed that out where someone out there, that was an article or whatever. It's not right. He's not Hitler, but he is Satan. Well, if you go to Satan, what's the next step? We always said that was a danger with using Hitler, is where can you go from Hitler?
Yeah, I don't think you can go further than Satan, but again, maybe you can. Maybe you can.
Give us a call. Can you go further than Satan? Can the Democrats go further
I mean,
than
you
Satan?
could try, I guess, the lazy approach and say, worse than Satan, which I don't know what that means. Like Satan is standing there going, look, I know this is hell, but it could be worse. What?
What?
No, what? Yeah, it's the epitome of fear mongering. We shouldn't be using, their side uses fear tactics. The side that has Hitler and Satan. Wow. Well, I'll be damned. Maybe quite literally. And those have been their tactics from the beginning. And it's how you get to Trump derangement syndrome. It's how a guy who was well-known household name for decades, adored
By the left. Who has not changed.
Who hasn't changed on any of his opinions.
His major opinions he has not changed on.
Until he decided to run, and that's where the fear-mongering came in.
Yeah. Now, see, there is an advantage for Republicans on this.
Yeah.
They don't need to go to any supernatural being.
Right.
They don't even need to go to any type of mass murderers. All they have to say is, this can't... Buttigieg, he's worse than Biden. He's worse than Harris.
Mm-hmm.
See, Republicans don't have to exaggerate in any way.
Yeah.
It's much easier.
Well, I mean,
God.
We've been saying for a long time, point. That's all the GOP has to do is point. Kind of what we did here with audio. Pete Buttigieg. We need to not engage in the fear-mongering. Beto, hold my beer.
But it gets back to what you and I've said before. I really think the problem that liberalism has, and I think there actually is a point here, I don't understand, and this is all seriousness, no sarcasm, I don't understand how their brain works. You can guess, you and I have always said that, and it doesn't happen anymore, but when we used to, we'd take an opinion, someone on the left, you guys are racist. We go, how do you get racist out of this? Why is the first thing out of your mouth? Racist, racist, racist. And then we realized one day, Democrats now and liberals practice identity politics. It's judging people by groups and not individuals. And that is in itself racism.
Yeah.
And we believe that a lot of it comes from their own guilt. That's how they think. They judge people by groups and not individuals. And so, of course, they feel guilty about it.
Yep.
And one of the things they do is they believe, well, if I think this way, everybody thinks this way. What I found out in life is you meet people every day that just don't think the way that you do. Their mind processes thoughts completely different, and they project a ton of things and a ton of the guilt that they feel, they project that onto you.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to some of the opinions that they hold, I don't know how any human being walks around and says to themselves, a man can be a woman because a man says so. It doesn't mean, and if you don't believe it, then you don't have compassion. And we've turned it right around and said, no, you don't have compassion.
Right.
We go back and look at the Josh Hawley Berkeley professor, who when Josh Hawley was saying, well, what do you I don't understand. What, explain to me. And she said, do you believe men can have children or can have babies? And he goes, no. Well, that's transphobic. What do you mean? Oh, by the way, just talking about this, you're transphobic. What do you mean?
Right.
Well, because people that are transgender have a much higher rate of suicide or attempted suicide. It's like, well, so your opinion is that the people that you're defending, you're making the claim they are mentally ill, and your solution to that is to have children be able to decide to cut off their body parts.
Right.
Tell me how that's compassionate.
Yeah.
And if I say, well, maybe they need some counseling or whatever, that I'm the one that's transphobic, which I don't even know what that means.
Again, just
I'm not
talking about, which is,
Right.
again, it is their attempt to shut down the conversation, control the conversation by fear-mongering and putting fear in people's minds and trying to make them believe if you just talk about it, people will suffer as a result of the conversation.
But I think, we don't overestimate the passion of their insanity. But when you see somebody like Buttigieg, I don't believe he's a particularly smart person.
No, I don't believe it.
And I say that not based on wanting to insult him in any way.
We're going to do that in the next segment. Yeah.
But the fact that if you keep using the same argument and it fails miserably over and over again, and you don't learn from your mistakes, you don't learn from your political mistakes, then how smart are you? And you and I have said this for the longest time. Why do they keep pounding the same, insane narratives that nobody buys? They know they're defeated, yet part of their mind keeps saying, well, the problem is we haven't repeated it enough. Right. And we know the old saying that if you say a lie long enough, people will eventually accept it as truth. Maybe some things they will, but obviously there's a ton of things that they won't.
Right.
And they haven't accepted the fact that Trump is Hitler. Why? Because they know Hitler was responsible for the genocide of millions of Jews, and Trump hasn't approached one murder yet.
Right.
I mean, this isn't very hard, yet they keep the same analogy over and over again, even though it fails over and over again. And isn't that is that the definition of insanity or stupidity?
Well, I think
if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and it doesn't work.
Yeah, I think in the dictionary now they just put C Democrat.
Yeah.
When you look up the word insanity, because it is insane. But they know that it still works to some extent.
Well, it works with the converted, but that's not your goal in politics,
Right.
as we've said, which is the major. If you just look at political parties in general, what is the purpose of a political party? To win. And in order to win, your goal has to be always to be broadening your appeal.
Yeah.
You can't do that by having the mindset of the victim oppressor, which they do. Their whole party is based on victim oppressor and then creating more victims, creating more oppressors. You're fragmenting. You're creating more victims, more oppressors. you're not uniting. If you look at forget about what the issues are even. If you just look at the concept of a political party, Trump has expanded the base.
Yeah.
He's expanded the attraction. That's what you have to do. For the Democrats not to understand that basic concept of politics, which is really easy to understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shows either a stubbornness, a ability not to connect dots, the ability of no critical thinking skill, or the not. It's not an ability. Not having the ability to have any type of critical thinking whatsoever. Because otherwise you'd stop it and say, we've got to do something. Republicans did.
Mm-hmm.
Trump did. They expanded the base.
Right. Yep. Yeah, but it's good to hear, that number one, Beto's still out there. Number two, he's not fear-mongering.
They're talking on Fox News about liberalism today, or the Democratic Socialists today, that you don't need to have any talent whatsoever. All you need to do is rhetorically throw out sayings over and over again, just quotes over and over again, things that sound good. Mm-hmm. Even from Mondami, even though you're a communist, mm-hmm. You think about it. Trump's a Nazi. Trump is Hitler. Mondami's promoting the ideology that's responsible for the death of hundreds of millions of people.
Right. Right.
The murder. And it's just like it's
is led by dictators.
Yes. Then again, it's the party that shows support for Hamas. What can you expect?
How long before they say, oh, no, he's a democratic communist?
Oh, wow.
Fair
All
elections.
Right. You said it on 7/29/2025. Let's see when they do it.
Let's wait for it.
He's a democratic communist.
Right. Nothing wrong with that.
866-90 Red Eye.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by Howe's Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
Approaching closer during the first full week of August.
The biggest, most amazing American farmers market in the history of our country in Washington on the National Mall.
The announcement from Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins earlier this month. Now, additional details about the Great American Farmers Market are available. Held nightly from 4 to 8 p.m. Eastern on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. from August 3rd through 8th. Themes for each day of the event connecting various aspects of agriculture and its role in the development of our nation through its history. All part of the year-long 250th anniversary celebration of the founding of our country. 50 vendors daily on the mall, representing all areas of the country. More details about the Great American Farmers Market are available online at www.usda.gov/GAFM. I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. And so, yeah, when you hear what the Democrats are doing, it's you shake your head because they're trying to do the same thing over and over again. It doesn't work for them, and it's just it's insanity. But it's also quite childish.
Yeah.
And at times we're letting child mentality govern us. Give you another example coming up next.
You're listening to Red Eye Radio from the Uniden America Studios.
And he is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome and good morning. Thank you for being here this morning. Download our Red Eye Radio app today, and you can listen when and where you choose. That's right.
Thank you.
During the show, after the show,
Mm-hmm.
before the show. Now,
On the weekends.
Before the show, you'd be listening to the show the day before. But
Yeah. But still be us, though.
one of the things, when we talk about where the Democrats are right now, you think about this. Think about liberalism, for example, and just how insane some of the things they promoted are. And we're not going to spend a lot of time on this because we have many times before, but now it's becoming a huge problem. Every day you see more stories out there saying states don't believe they're going to have enough electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. That liberalism came up with the fact that we can power the grid with solar and wind.
Mm-hmm.
Now, any idiot knows the windmills don't go when there's no wind, and the solar panels don't work when there's no sun.
Yeah.
So never was there a consideration by the left to say, well, how do we fill that in?
What about the backup?
Yeah, what about the backup? What about the consistent form of energy? They just said, it doesn't matter. Children think that way. That's not the way you operate a society. And now they're like, well, what the hell do we do now, man? What's going on? Well, I guess we have to start building nuclear plants.
No nukes. No nukes.
I mean, it's
no nukes.
When you
Are we going in circle? Are we
Yes.
a dog chasing our tail?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
Paper. It's killing the trees. We're going to use plastic bags. No plastic. It's going to the ocean. We're going to paper. We did that before. Shh. Don't tell anybody we did it before.
But you think about the idiocy. And it wasn't just the idiocy of one. It was a group of people together
Yeah.
saying, yes, we can run. To the point where, remember, when Biden was running and he won, and he said, we can run the grid on solar and wind. And then he had to add down the road nuclear, but he didn't add it for months.
Right.
And people were like, yep, it's going to be great. We're going to run the whole thing on solar and wind. Yeah, but what about if the wind doesn't blow and there's no sun? Shh, we don't think about those things. We're children.
Even his argument needed backup.
Yes,
Even his argument wouldn't hold up with solar and wind.
but we went that long. Look at another thing, for example. Remember the whole, the ethanol debate that was signed in the bill was finally signed in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how insane that is. Completely childish.
Yeah.
And where Al Gore had to come out and admit that he lied. Well, no, it actually does the opposite from farm to tank. No, there's so much process that if you're looking at global warming gases from the liberal viewpoint of what goes into the atmosphere, yeah, we actually put more in, but whatever. We're not going to think about that because it sounds good. Since we're trying to do the right thing by doing the wrong thing, then it's the right thing.
Yeah.
My God, I'm not wrong in saying that.
No.
And then he had to admit, okay, I was trying to get the votes. I was lying to you all about it. Yep.
We're just trying to win.
And we still have it today. We're still subsidizing it. And now it's become, we're subsidizing something that we don't need, that actually, by the Democrat standard of global warming gases, makes the atmosphere worse. But now it's a jobs program to subsidize something that can't make a profit.
Yep. Well, it's in building out this, again, industry where there isn't the massive demand and you force it on the people and then quietly put in a backup, which is the traditional form of energy, which is what we're doing now. But those plants can't just be started when, you're going to have to, you're going to have backup for the backup.
Well,
And it's all under this guise of saving the planet, this lie that they're saving the planet. It's the ultimate goal is to nationalize energy. That's what they want to do, and they have to break the private sector to get there.
well, that's not going to work, is it?
Nope. They tried with health care. How'd that work? Anybody remember Obamacare? Gee, that's not expensive.
Well, one of the most simple things we talk about, we need Medicare for all.
You can't do some Medicare for some.
Right. We can't do some Medicare for some. And those some pay their entire lives. Think about this. They pay premiums from the time they start working to the time that they're 65.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, okay. You still got to pay that. You're not fully covered. You still got to pay this and pay this and pay this and pay this.
Well, imagine.
Well, we have a great idea. You can't do Medicare for some. Let's do Medicare for all.
Imagine your employer said, listen, if you start working here at 18 and pay us monthly, by the time you're 65, we'll provide insurance for you. But not one day before.
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
That's not a perk.
But let's get to the serious problems because there are some legitimate complaints about Trump over the last couple of days. You ready for this, Eric?
All right. What do we got?
This from Yahoo Sports.
Mm-hmm.
The golf community appears to be in agreement on President Trump's controversial putt this past weekend. The President of the United States was in Scotland. He's played 2 rounds of golf. President Trump played around with his son and a U.S. ambassador on Saturday. He returned to the course on Sunday for another 18 holes. However, video of President Trump's controversial putt on Saturday has sparked a debate among the golf community. No, it hasn't.
I was going to say, did it?
No.
No.
But everyone seems to be in agreement on what President Trump did on the green. President Trump drained what looks like an 8-foot putt on the green. However, after his ball went into the hole, he simply left the green. He did not follow it to the hole and pick up the ball out of the cup. He left that responsibility for his caddy. Now that's the definition of Hitler. Said one fan, notice Trump doesn't clean his own ball or take his ball out of the cup. You lose continuity if you play like that. He is so out of shape he can barely bend over, one fan wrote. I noticed in Scotland today, by the way, not a fan of Trump.
Yeah.
By the way,
I'm sure it
I
was
want to
a
make
fan.
that clear.
Yeah.
Another one said, I noticed in Scotland today, golfing, Trump had someone pick his ball out of the cup, either too lazy or too old. Then somebody who said, I'm a 3-time Trump voter and love the guy, but you get your own ball out of the cup after putting. That's golf etiquette 101, one fan added. Another one said, I'm a Trump voter and supporter. I'm also a golfer. You get your own ball out of the cup after you putt. That's just golf etiquette.
Yeah, well, when you own golf courses, then you can do your own golf etiquette.
What do you make? Then they asked the question, what do you make of what President Trump did on the golf course on Saturday afternoon? Should he have picked his ball out of the cup? Well, since I am the golfer on the show.
Yeah.
And have been golfing for well over a half century.
Yes.
I want to make this very clear where I stand. And you know that I'm blunt in all of my assessments.
Well,
And my answer would be Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn.
I'm more interested in Golf Force One. By the way, the horsepower for Golf Force One, 82.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, see, that's another thing. That breaks golf etiquette.
Having a powerful...
You're supposed to have
Because
two...
it's not it's a Polaris. It's not a golf cart.
No, you're supposed to have two people to a cart only. You don't get to have an extra cart out there. The president is breaking protocol by having a cart follow him. How dare... Well, that's the...
And it's not a golf cart.
No, it's a
Polaris.
It's an armed vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
See? All this evidence that shows that he's Hitler.
I mean, if we're just not going to play by the rules, I'll just drive my truck onto the golf course.
And not pick your ball out of the cup.
No. Well, first of all, I'd have to make it in the cup. So there's
That's
that.
true. That would never
I
happen.
will never be criticized for not getting my own ball out of the cup because there's very little chance it's going in the first place.
So you've never played one round of golf?
Never.
You've never played like one golf hole?
No.
Besides putt-putt?
No.
Or
golf range,
or
where we hit some balls, but that's it.
So you've never been like 100 yards out, taking a club and hitting the ball right next to the hole from 100 yards?
Yes, but not on a golf course.
Oh, okay. Just on just on a driving range.
No, at a mall. No.
My neighbor's house.
At a Walgreens. No.
You have not experienced the thrill of hitting a golf ball flush into the air, and you say to yourself, how the hell did that happen? The ball's in the air and it goes right near the cup. You've never experienced that thrill.
No.
Did you see the excitement when Kramer hit the ball into the ocean? How he described it? Any golfer will say that's the feeling that you get. It's an adrenaline rush.
Yeah. No.
But these people, he's the president of the United States. He doesn't need to pick his ball out of the hole.
Yeah. When you open the chute and you're on when they open the chute and you're on a bull, there's an adrenaline rush. I've had that one time.
Oh, you did the bull thing?
I rode a bull.
Oh, I saw you told me about that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That may be better than me going up with the Thunderbirds or crashing my legend car at Texas Motor Speedway.
Well, I don't know if I pulled any G's, but I pulled something. It was not good. Where's a rodeo clown when you need one?
Did you fall off?
Yeah. It wasn't falling off as much as it was being thrown off.
Thrown off?
Yeah.
And did the Cowboys come and like grab you or take you away? I mean,
there were only two in the arena. It wasn't at a rodeo. It was practice.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And there were only two Cowboys there.
So the bull didn't try to stomp you after?
Yes.
Oh,
actually did. Yeah. And one of those Cowboys saved my life.
See, I'd go up.
The back end of the bull swung over my head.
See, I'd never do that.
If I had tried to stand up right away, it would have been over.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done.
Yeah.
866-90 Red Eye.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. All right, I was wrong to compare Trump to Hitler because of what Trump did on the golf course. Because I went to AI, and they say, no, there's no evidence to suggest that Hitler played golf.
Oh.
So now, CBS Sports did do a story back in 2013 that there was a golf tournament where there was a Adolf Hitler golf trophy in
Oh,
in Germany.
Okay.
So,
All right.
So he sponsored a golf tournament.
So you're getting close
right after
to the Hitler comparison.
Right after the Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus tournament, it's the Hitler golf tournament.
Yeah.
Probably would not draw a huge crowd.
I'm guessing not.
Or probably a lot of golfers to that.
Yeah. I'm guessing it would not. Not a big TV audience.
Isn't it just so stupid?
Yeah.
It
really
so
is.
stupid. God, childish.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.